Okay, this is the second part of 1.1f. I'm on number 4 now. Miley is trying to solve the following riddle. The sum of 3 consecutive integers is 84. What are the integers? All right, consecutive means one after the other, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? One after the other. So she has already written part of the equation that you can use to solve this riddle. So let's fill in the blank. So n is the first integer, and the number after that, so if you're going 1 to 2, you're going to take the first integer and you're going to add 1, and that would be your second integer. Now go from your first integer to the third, like going from 1 to 3, you would have to add 2. So that's your third integer. So we're going to put that in the blank, n plus 2. And we said those three numbers, if you add them up, they should total 84. So let's find what the first one is by finding n. So let's combine all the n's. So we have 3n, and combine all the constants. So we have plus 3 equals 84. I'm going to use the inverse to get rid of the 3. I'm going to subtract 3 from each side. So 3n equals 81. And if you divide by 3, n is 27. So if this is your first one, and then your second is adding 1, your next one's going to be 28. And then if you add 2 to the first one, or just keep going consecutively, the next one's going to be 29. So your 3 consecutive integers are 27, 28, 29. All right. Number 5 says, Eli is making lemonade for a party. Expressions showing the ratio of the water to the sugar to the lemon juice used to make lemonade are shown on the left. So we have C cups of water, 1/4 cup, 1/4 times the amount of water is sugar, and then half of the amount of the water is lemon juice. And here is your expression, C plus 1/4 C plus 1/4 C equals 14 cups. So this is the water, this is the sugar, this is the lemon juice. So let's write a story. It would go something like this. The ratio of water to sugar to lemon juice used to make lemonade is 1 to 1/4 to 1/2. Eli used a total of 14 cups of water. Well, it's not of water, it's a total of the ingredients. So he used a total of 14 cups of all the ingredients to make a batch of lemonade. How many cups of each separate ingredient did he need? All right, so let's write an equation. Well, they already gave us the equation, so let's just rewrite it. C plus 1/4 cup plus 1/2 cup equals 14. So if we add up all the C's, 1, 1/4, and 1/2, we have 1 3/4 or 1 75/100 C equals 14. So if we divide each side by 1 3/4, we get 8 cups. So the C is the water, so 8 cups of water. A quarter of that, or if you divide it by 4, is 2. So you need 2 cups of sugar. Yikes, that's sweet. And then if you take a half of that, a half of 8 is 4. So I guess that sweet's balance is balanced out because you need 4 cups of lemon juice. All right, let's move on to some geometry. Number 6. Use the incomplete story and the expressions and equations below to answer the questions that follow. So this is what we know. The measure of angle A is x. The measure of angle B in a triangle is 3x. The measure of angle C is x minus 20. So if you add up A, this is A, B, and C, the total of the angles is 180. So the total of angles in any triangle is always 180. So let's fill in the blanks for the story. In ABC, the measure of angle B is 3 times larger than the measure of angle A. The measure of angle C is 20 degrees less than the measure of angle A. That M stands for measure. The sum of the angles in a triangle, I said, is 180 no matter what. What is the measure of each angle? So we are going to take this equation that was given to us, and we're going to solve for x, and then we can figure out all of the angles. So I have 1, 2, 5x minus 20 equals 180. I'm going to add 20 to each side. So 5x equals 200. Go over here. And if I divide each side by 5, I have x is 40. So that 40 degrees is angle A. 3 times that, 40 times 3 is 120. So angle B is 120. And then C, I'm going to take that 40 minus 20, which is 20 degrees. All right, let's stay on the topic of triangles. Number 7, it says in triangle RST, triangle R, or angle R and angle S have the same measure. So let's do this. X, X. The measure of angle T is 1/2 the measure of angle R and angle S. So T is 1/2 X. So they don't give you the 180 that it's equal to, but we know, like I told you before, that the sum is always 180. So under A, let's help Marie write an equation for this situation. So I have x, that's R, plus x, that's angle S, plus 1/2 x, always, always, always equal to 180. Now I see that you guys have blanks, so that for letter B, I guess they don't have it. So we're going to put it in ourselves. Your letter B, you need to solve to find each angle. So I have 2.5x equals 180. If I divide each side by 2.5, I have x equals 72. So these are both 72 degrees. And then half of that, if you take 72 and divide it in half, you'll have angle T, which is 36 degrees. So always remember, they're not always going to give you that 180, but you always know that every triangle, the angles always add up to 180. Let's move on to rectangles with the next one. Use the expressions and equation below to answer the questions that follow. The width of a rectangle is W. The length of a rectangle is 2W. The equation says 2W plus W plus 2W plus W equals 42 feet. So this is the two lengths and the two widths, and if you add up the side, we're talking perimeter. So let's write our story. The length of a rectangle is twice or 2 times the width. The perimeter of the rectangle is 42 feet. What is the measure of the length and the width? Okay, so we need to find what W is. So we're going to combine all. Oh, well, A says to draw a picture. Let's do that first. Here's our rectangle. So the length is 2W and the width is W. Okay? So we drew that picture. We wrote our story, which is B. C is what is a different but equivalent way of writing the equation above? Well, we know it's a rectangle, so these two sides are equal and these two sides are equal. So we can say that we have 2 of the widths plus 2 of the lengths that are 2W is equal to, what do we say, 42? Yep. So now let's solve it to find the length and width. So we have 2W plus 2 times 2W, which is 4W, equals 42. If we combine these, I have 6W equals 42. And after I divide each side by 6, I know the width is 7. And we know, this is feet, right? 7 feet, that the length is 2 times that, or 14 feet. All right, I'm going to stop now and I'm going to put the final page in its own part.